Good morning, now Generation Youth. It's MJ. This is day 5 of our 29-day challenge. I want to apologize for the technical difficulties that we dealt with on yesterday. We were trying to get the Devo up in the morning, but GroupMe wouldn't allow us to get it up. So we finally got it up. If you go to the GroupMe chat room, you'll be able to see the link for yesterday's devotional. This devotional is going to be a little shorter. The last one was about 11 minutes, but I'm going to do my best to try to bring everything down to about 8 minutes so that you guys can get the meat of everything and you guys can go on your day. So today we're going to be talking about pride's origin. Yesterday we talked about what is pride. We gave the definition of pride, and we basically talked about how pride is dangerous and how a lot of times we don't know when we're operating in the spirit of pride. Although sometimes we do know when we're operating in the spirit of pride, but pride is very sudden, it's very sneaky. And so today we're going to talk about pride's origin, where it came from. It's crazy to think about this, but pride originated before God ever created anything. Pride originated in an angel called Lucifer. And for those who don't know who Lucifer is Satan. When we look at the story of Lucifer, Lucifer was one of the top angels, I guess you would say, in heaven, and he was created to worship God. Like, his body was made of instruments, and every time he opened his mouth, he made a beautiful sound to God. And he was amazing. Like, he knew that he had a gift. He knew that his gift was working for him. And where he messed up at is that he felt like he was greater than God. Like, he felt like because of his gifts, he was greater than God. And because of that, God saw his heart. God saw the pride in his heart, and he cursed him out of heaven. One thing that I want to point out when we're talking about pride, and I think it's huge, is that we have to watch out that we aren't prideful in the gifts that God's given us. I know for a lot of you guys, you play sports, you be really smart, you may be able to play an instrument, but never lose sight that it's a gift. It's something that God's giving you in order to express yourself. This never should be used to show how great you are. It's always meant to show how great He is through you. It's crazy to think that that He saw Himself greater than God. Like, when we think about that, Lucifer just felt like his worth was greater than what God gave him. And a lot of times when we're operating in the spirit of pride, we think ourselves greater than who we are. We see ourselves as just this big macho person. Like, we start feeling ourselves a little bit, and a lot of times when we do that, we don't see things clearly. And for a split second, Lucifer forgot who he was. He forgot his place. He forgot what God created him to do. And for a split second, because of that split second, it cost him his entire life, to where now he's been cursed to hell for the rest of his life. And a lot of times for us, we are very blind to pride. Like, pride blinds us from what we are or who we really are sometimes. A lot of times pride is very subtle. We don't really notice when we're operating in the spirit of pride. And so one thing I want to encourage you guys in is that we have to make sure that when we see pride, we have to denounce it right then and there. Like when we're operating in a spirit of pride, it's our obligations as believers and it's our obligations as Christians to denounce that spirit, because when we're operating in a spirit of pride, we see things from a different perspective, but even in that different perspective, it's miscrewed because we are looking at things from a warped view of things. It's like looking at things through a kaleidoscope. If y'all know what a kaleidoscope is, it looks like 10,000 different pictures at once, but it's all showing the same thing. And a lot of times we're looking at life through a lens of a kaleidoscope, and we're seeing things from a certain perspective, but it's so all over the place that it's confusing. And so we have to really focus ourselves on Jesus Christ. We have to focus our eyes back on Him, back on what He's called us to do, because He wants us to live a prosperous life. When we operate in the spirit of pride, we miss out on so much that He wants to do through our lives. Another thing that pride does is pride loves company. When you're prideful, you try to find people who are just like you. You try to find people who think the same way you do, because you want to be right. I know a couple years ago, Pastor Chica came to the church and he talked about, do you want to be right or do you want to be blessed? And a lot of times we will sacrifice our blessing, and we're going to talk about that next week. Not next week, but on Thursday. We will sacrifice our blessing just to be right. And so I guess my question is, how right do you want to be? If it costs you missing out on something that God really wants you to do, are you really willing to give that up just to be right? And a lot of times we find company that will agree with us because we know that if we go to that certain person or if we go to that certain friend, they'll agree with us, and so the stance that we have will continue to stay. And so at that point we have to really look and see, who are we hanging around with? Are the people that we have put in our lives helping us, or are they hurting us? Are they pushing me forward in the things of God, or are they hindering me from moving forward in the things of God? So in conclusion, I want you guys to really take today, and even as I challenged you yesterday to find 3 scriptures, but today I want you guys to, if you know that you're operating in the spirit of pride and you can recognize that you've been operating in the spirit of pride, I want you to take some time out today and just pray and ask God to help you to see things from a different perspective. A lot of times when we remove ourselves from a certain situation and put ourselves in another situation, we begin to see things from a different perspective. And so I encourage every one of you to just take this time out today, study those scriptures that you found on yesterday. If you've listened to the Devo. If you haven't listened to the Devo from yesterday, listen to the Devo and listen to the challenge. Read over those scriptures, and tomorrow in our time of prayer and worship, we'll just pray against the spirit of pride. If you have any other prayer requests, we'll pray with you guys about that, and then we'll just have a time of worship and just go after God and see what He does. I love you guys. Continue to just watch the Devos. We're going to have this one up 8 o'clock on the dot, and then we'll continue to have the next one up on Thursday and Friday, and then we'll have a recap on Saturday. Okay, so love you guys, and I pray that y'all have a great day at school. Talk to y'all later. Bye.